So now with all the hard work done, we're going to go ahead and make a set of instructions that anybody else could pick up and follow to recreate what we've done. So let's go up to New. We're making a drawing file. We're going to change this from C size paper, which is a little too big. So we're going to right click on sheet 1 and edit this. We're going to change this from C. This is 17 inches by 22 inches. And most paper is actually A size. That's 8.5 by 11 inches. So let's click OK. And now this title block is way too big. So we're going to right click and delete the title block. We're going to select a new one from Drawing Resources, so expand it, expand title blocks, and instead of ANSI large, we're going to select ANSI A. Double click. That makes a much more reasonably sized title block. And now that we have all of that finished, top left we have the important part. I'll put in the base, and let's start off with the part that most people would start with. So we're going to browse and start with the pencil box base. Okay, now it thinks this is the front view, and this is actually a side that we're looking at. So the left side is probably more appropriate, but it's way too big for this paper. This is the actual scale. So an 11-inch long paper, this is 10 inches. This isn't going to work well. So we're going to change this to half size. We're going to click once to set down where the front view is. Click the top view, down into the side for the side view, and then straight up from the side view to make an isometric view so they know what it is they're supposed to be looking at. Right click and hit create. Double click the isometric view. We're going to select shaded and click OK. Notice that when I first put in the bases, I did not select OK. I just clicked on the paper where I wanted them to be. We're going to go to annotate, and anytime that we add notes to a drawing, you're annotating it. So we're going to add a dimension, which is also an annotation, to show that from this side to this side is 10 inches long. And this is going to allow us to add extra text if we want it, and it defaults to let you do that for every dimension you create. We do not want to worry about that, so I'm going to uncheck Edit Dimension when created. We're going to also need to know how far it is to this first point, which we had set to 0.25, and this is going off the edge, so I'm going to change and make it on this side instead. So this is 0.25. I'm going to click on this edge again and say from that edge over is not 0.63, we said it's 0.625. So let's double click that dimension, and under precision and tolerance we're going to change it from only going to 2 points after the decimal to 3 points after the decimal, and select OK. Alright, so these are all the width dimensions they would need to know. We'll put in a note to let them know that this side is the same. And let's continue dimensioning. So we want from the bottom of this up to the top is 1.5 inches. From the bottom of this to this point should be 0.25. And that's showing up as something that's incorrect. So I may have to go back and look at that. And then the easiest one for other people to follow, even though it is the same as saying from here to here is going to be 0.125, we didn't actually dimension it that way. So instead, I want you to dimension from this point to this point, and that's 0.25. Okay. And then the only other thing they would need to know is that the width of this is 3 inches. Remember, it started as 3.5. We took off a 1/4 inch from the left and the right side. And half of that 1/4 is from the table saw. The other half is the side that we're keeping for left and right. So before I go further, well, no, let's finish all of our drawings first. This drawing is finished, but we're going to add notes to it. So we're going to annotate it with text, and we're going to say symmetrical. So put your caps lock on. And that lets other people know that this side is the same as this side. We're going to put in our name here. Forgot I had my caps lock on. And we are going to title this Pencil Box Base. Lastly, we do need the scale in here. And we said this is not a 1:1 scale. This is a 1/2 scale. So they know looking at this that even though this is only 5 inches long, this is representing a 10-inch long piece of wood. Okay, now we're going to select Place Views and make a new sheet. So our old sheet is still here under Sheet 1. Our new sheet, Sheet 2, now already has the right size paper, it has the right size title block. Click where it says Base. We're going to search for our side. And this is 3:1, this is way too big. Let's make this 1/2 scale. And again, I'm not going to click OK. I'm going to switch this from a front view to a left view. And I'm going to click on the screen. Do not click OK. Click on the screen. That sets the front view, the top view, the side view, and an isometric view. Right click, select Create. You get a little red box if you're not right on top of the item. So double click that. We're going to make it shaded again. And now we're going to go back and add notes to it. So dimension it first. We can just select the line and click above it. So it's 10 inches long. And it's 1.5 inches tall. And if we click on the left side and the right side, this will tell us that it's 1.3, which again isn't quite right. So click on that dimension. We're going to change the precision and tolerance to 3 points after the decimal. Select OK. And again, we're going to add in your name. We're going to add in a title. And we're going to add in the scale. Switch back to Place Views, New Sheet, Base, and now this time we're going to add in the top. I'm going to switch to a left view, and actually let's see if we can get, no, it's not going to let me do what I want. So here's the front view. Do not click OK, just click on the screen. The top, the side, and an isometric view. Right click, create, double click to make this one shaded. And annotate. This time we have a circle. Anytime we have a circle in a drawing like this, we're going to add a center mark. Just click on the outside of it. And that'll allow us to dimension to it. So we're going to say from this edge to this point is 4.75, and from this side to this point is 1.5. This whole piece is 9.5 inches long. If you zoom in, do not click on the green dot. Click on just above or below it. This is selecting a midpoint. So you could say from this point to this line is a distance. We don't want to select that. We just want to know what the radius is. So the radius on this is 1 inch. And we also need to know that the diameter of this should be 0.625. So we're going to switch the units, make it so it goes 3 places after the decimal, and the last bit is just knowing that this is 0.25 thick. We're going to add text to it. Again, put in your name, put in a title, if you hold down your mouse wheel and move your mouse up, it'll drag the screen. I'll put in a scale. The scale on this is again 1/2. If you double click your mouse wheel, it'll take you back to a full screen view, and we're ready to go to Place Views, New Sheet. We have one more sheet to add. So here's Base. We're going to put in both the presentation view, which is here. We want it to not be a front view. This time we want it to be an isometric top right view. We want it to be shaded. And let's include the scale. So it's going to show the scale under the picture with this. And that went into the wrong place. So let's right click, select OK. If we hover over just the words, they turn red, and we can move that outside of our title block. We're also going to be annotating it by adding a parts list this time. Select parts list. It asks you to find what you're referencing, so you're going to be using your assembly view. Select OK. It says that the bill of materials must be enabled to proceed. Do you wish to enable it? Yes. And we're going to click here. And now our bill of materials is running into our pencil box. So it's going to get close to the edge of this red box, so we can drag it down just a little bit. Now it's above it, nothing's running into it. If we double click on the text, we can add in our own descriptions. And this is actually not going to be cherry, it's going to be spruce, pine, or fir. Highlight, copy, and then paste the same thing into the bottom two, or you could retype it and select apply, and that'll let anyone looking at this know that this is spruce, pine, or fir, and we need 2 sides, quantity 2, 1 base and 1 top. Okay, last thing I'm going to do is add balloons. This is to make sure they know what is what. Select balloon first. You click on just the furthest out line you can for a piece, and you click a second time to set where the balloon goes. Right click and select continue. So you click once on the outside edge of the object, once away from it, right click, continue. Okay, and that's everything for this.